Rise and Shine Rwanda is Thursday the 16th of April.
Coming up on today's Rise and Shine Rwanda.
Better safe than sorry. Does everybody check their expiry date behind every product?
We look into business ventures that are thriving in the sports world.
And as always, we have the new releases and cult classics to hold you over the weekend in today's movie review. Good morning, it's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahario. Over the next hour, we'll bring you all the latest news, business, and sports headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. And the Rise and Shine team are here with us in studio. Fidelis, what do you have for us in the world of business?
Well, in business, I get to get into sports today. Arnold, yes, I'm taking over. So I have some very interesting stories to tell you about in business. And of course, we get to learn about some of the people who are making us sportsmen look fabulous at all times.
Okay.
Arnold, you should be doing
No,
that.
well, people giving people insight about the money in the sports business.
But that's what she is, she's
No, but
the money.
Yeah, but kids these days are now going to play for the money instead of, playing
Oh,
for the
yeah.
passion.
Well, Arnold, what do you have in the world of sports?
In sports, I have the latest from the UEFA Champions League and I have a special NBA look ahead
Oh,
with Regis Isheja and a special guest.
I hope y'all are ready at home because this one is going to be a great one.
Oh, I'm so ready for the playoffs.
What team to support again?
The popular one, that one, yes. Okay, well, all of that and more is still to come, but first, Rise and Shine story of the day.
Guarantee or warranty? It can lead to confusion at times. That expiry date on the back of the product has more meaning than most of us might think. And it's key that we always pay attention to it or risk finding out too late that it has expired. I had to ask those that help teach the everyday Rwandan about warranty. Take a look. It could be a tricky thing not knowing when a product will expire and not having any guarantee for it. At times, warranty and guarantee seem to mean the same thing, but there is a difference. That difference is that little expiry date marked on the said product.
Iyo tujyanye nka twa dukingirizo byonyine nko ku ikarto niba ari ikarto yose haba hariho itariki agakingirizo kakoreweho n'itariki kazarangiriraho noneho ukabimwereka bikaba byiza niyo ufunguye ya karto ugakuramo product irimo imbere ukabasha nayo kuyimwereka ukamwereka ya tariki kakoreweho n'igihe kazarangirira noneho akumva ko byibuze kagakingirizo umuhaye nta kibazo arakaziranenge.
Now, how does it work in rural Rwanda, where reading what's marked on the product might not be a priority for some?
Niba umuhereje wenda nk'agakingirizo kazamara wenda nk'imyaka 2 n'urugero muhereje nk'agakingirizo muri 2015 wenda ka Plaisir nkamubwira ko kazarangira mu 2019 nabwo icyo gihe umuturage azagira ubwoba bwo kugura kagakingirizo kuko karacyafite igihe kirekire cyo kuba kakoreshwa kandi ari kazina.
This is about knowledge as much as it is about safety, and the ones selling products are very aware of that.
Nkuko tugomba guharanira ubuzima bw'abaturage muri rusange iyo ugiye kumuhereza kagakingirizo niho nababwiye ko agomba kubanza kureba igihe kakorewe so ushobora kukamuhereza wenda atigeze areba ugasanga twadukingirizo tumutinzeho iyo tumutinzeho rero cya gihe kikagera agomba kutugarura cyangwa se akakubwira ati mwamuhereje udukingirizo twarangije igihe kandi ngewe nkeneye gucuruza nimutampindurira nzaduhereza umuturage twararangije igihe. Icyo gihe rero nkuko tugomba guharanira ubuzima bw'abanyarwanda muri rusange ko bagira ubuzima bwiza twebwe twatugarura tukamuhereza utundi dukingirizo tuzima we agasigarana twatundi tugifite igihe tukagarura twatundi muri stock.
Better safe than sorry. Regis Isheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda. And joining us in studio now is John Butera, Corporate Communication Manager at SFH Rwanda. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
All right. So you were saying it's 4 different names. Like, should I say all 4 names with Robert and Mugabe at the end?
Mutea, John, Robert Mugabe.
Oh, okay, all right. So tell us about warranty and being safe, because it's very important when you're buying a product to know exactly what you're buying.
Thank you so much. I think I would begin on a specific products that SFH is really social marketing. And to answer your question precisely on warranty is, there are many types. We have a leaflet that is really, it contains all the specifications and the expiry dates on how to use a condom and how to be safe when you're using a condom. How you use it is really plays a big role on protecting your life. It's really a hard question to answer because it is a condom, that product, but also we have a user, the end user. How do you use it? How do you really roll it on your tool and have this safer sex? But to warrant is we have to find out when is the product valid. You'll have to first check the expiry dates, manufacture date and expiry dates. That's one thing when you're buying a product that you really need to find out. The other component is you check, for example, for our products, specifically on condoms, you'll have to do a pilot test. If you're buying a product, you'll have to test it if it has air inside. If that air is not there, then the product is not safe, so don't use it. The guarantee or the warranty we could really give to our clients, or usually the guarantee and warranty we give to our clients is buy a product and keep it safe in a very good place. It has to be kept away from direct sun.
Right.
It shouldn't be heat. It has to really you do that pilot test. You have to check for expiry dates. And when you go to use it, just do it in a very good way. Don't cut it using your teeth. Yeah, it has some, if you see the wedge pack
right.
or the product inside.
Like a perforated edge where you
can
kind of really...
Yeah, so you have to really...
So is there any rule or any standard in which how long you can be selling a product? Because sometimes, you know, yes, it's the consumer's responsibility to check the expiration date, but isn't it also the responsibility of the shop or the seller to not sell products that are expiring immediately, or you know, is there like a certain amount of time in which things have to come off of the shelf?
Sure, it's both ways. You have, as a seller, you have to really get to know when do I put out my products in the market. But as well as a consumer, because we have products that we sell out, not necessarily for SFH, but if you said any product, you might not necessarily have these products move at the pace that really needed. So right. The products keep in stock. And maybe sometimes the dates go over, so you have to really find out as a buyer or as somebody who is selling the products, he really wants to get his returns on investment. So sometimes these guys really sell the products that have expired.
And you want to make
but
sure
it's
that
your
name
responsibility of a consumer to find out when was this product manufactured and when is it supposed to really like get over its use. So it's both ways. Yeah, for SFH we can sell products that have expired, but again we encourage consumers, our clients, to check the dates before you use the products.
Now, Jackie, who I spoke to earlier, gets to go in rural Rwanda. Now we have what the cities know in Huye, in Kigali, and so forth. But when it comes to rural Rwanda, I would think when the ordinary citizen goes to a shop and you know gets a product, doesn't necessarily look at the back to see the expiry date. What do you, through Jackie and other people, do to educate them on that?
SFH, we have that expertise of educating people. We tell them to always mind about dates. And we've really gotten feedback from our clients, even the rural villages, because we deal in over 30 districts of Rwanda, and we sell more than 15.5 million condoms. So even other products like cereal and other products we sell. But one thing we emphasize, tell the wholesalers, retailers, the consumers, is always when somebody is buying a product, let him or her know when these products are supposed to expire, because some of them want to go and stock at their homes. So you shouldn't stock a product that is really getting over its dates for a period of, you have to keep checking. So it's, I think, something we do best, and we keep telling our clients to always mind about the dates. Right. Even other specifications, like I told you, like testing its pillow stuff. Even when you get to use it, when do you use it? Don't use teeth.
You
don't
make
do
sure
this.
That you use
don't throw it after
properly.
use. Don't put it in toilets. So
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us and for just educating us.
And SFH will be. I'll do a broader report on SFH soon on Rise and Shine Rwanda.
Looking forward to that.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Connect to Lusaka 3 times a week starting 27th March. Enjoy comfort and safety at affordable fares to 17 other destinations across Africa and the Middle East.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Now let's get to today's business stories, or as I call it, the money. Fidelis Karangwa has the details.
Business stories making headlines today. The Bugesera Natural Region Rural Infrastructure Support Project has donated more cows to residents of Bugesera district in a move to help them improve their living standards. About 143 families have benefited from this donation that is part of the Jiringa program, a national project that is geared towards eradicating poverty and improving nutrition levels among poor households. Officials say besides ensuring the beneficiaries get a sustainable source of income, the cows will boost milk production in the country and help fight malnutrition in the district. Rwandans will now have an opportunity to co-own MTN Rwanda as Critical Ventures Limited plans to sell its 23% stake in the firm through an initial public offering. The firm indicates that the IPO will be issued in the next 2 months once the Capital Markets Authority accepts the application to issue the IPO at the Rwanda Stock Exchange. This move will give the market a boost since it will be an additional product for Rwandans to invest in. And a report from the government shows that the number of business travelers who traveled into the country last year increased by up to 24%. This development was attributed to the new strategy to focus on business travelers as a supplement to those that come to the country for leisure, following last year's launch of meetings, incentive conferences and events by RDB as a way to promote diversity in the tourism sector. Now, sports is one of the activities that has been getting a lot of attention as Rwanda tries to gain international recognition for various sports activities. And with the growth of this sector, businesses like gyms and sports stores have been growing at a fast pace as well. Today, we look into a business that equips sportsmen and women with everything they need to become champions. Take a look. From trophies to yoga mats and sports attire, you name it and you can find it here at this local sports store. Despite this being quite a new business in Kigali, demand for products like this has been escalating, especially with the fast growth of sports activities in Rwanda.
Having a sports shop in Kigali is profitable because sports area doesn't have a lot of people selling sports also activities, so it's profitable because we have few people doing this business, so it's profitable.
This business, however, like many others in Kigali, still faces a great challenge having to import most of the goods from countries like China and Dubai. And this has consequently affected the prices of their products, which would have originally been cheap. Steve adds that having a few tricks up their sleeve is how they've been able to sustain a steady clientele.
Of course, it has to be a little bit higher because you will have to include transport, you will have to include taxes, but it's not that high, but it will be a little bit higher. What we do, we only do one thing. We give our customers what they look for, exactly what they look for. No fakes, no, just exactly what they have in mind. We give it.
Famous teams like AS Kigali and APR have found a source for that sleek look that they need to rock when winning championships right here in the land of 1,000 hills. Kangwa Fidelis, Rise and Shine Rwanda. And joining us now in studio is Steve Severa, marketing agent for Sportsland. Welcome, Steve, to the show.
Thank you.
So this is clearly a very new venture, and not many people are in it, but there are a couple of stores. If you walk around Kigali, you can see a couple of sports stores that are already there, including supermarkets like Nakumat and all these markets that now have a lot of sports equipment. So what is the competition like in this business?
Thank you. The competition isn't that tough because still in sport business we still few people, so we can handle the competition. It's not that tough.
And what are some of the challenges that you face every day? I mean, when we were talking earlier, you told me something about the fact that you have to import most of your equipment from, other countries like I said, they report China and Dubai. But what are some of the challenges that you face in this business every day?
We face a lot of challenges, but the most challenges we face, customers look for good stuff of good quality, but at a lower price. So they will expect you to give them, I would call it original goods, but at a lower price. Something you can buy at $200, they'll expect you to give it to them at 10,000. So it will be hard for us to give them good qualities stuff then, because the price is low. So that's most of the challenge.
And of course, there's the fact that with everything we import, you have to add taxes
you have
to it
add
and all that.
taxes, you have to add those, all of that. They don't consider that.
Yeah, but you also know that that has not slowed you down either, because you've told me before that you guys, to improve on your clientele or to grow it, you even try to get tenders, win tenders for different, let's say, ministries if they want equipment, sports equipment, if they want uniforms and all these things. So what is the process like trying to get a tender, especially in this particular business? And is it something that someone can enter into this business? I feel like it's a guarantee that they will be able to try and get customers that way.
Tenders. What happened when tenders, so institutes, public institutes, release tenders, so you have to compete. But what happened in tenders is that for us, we want to give them good quality stuff, but at a higher price. And in a tender, for you to win a tender, you have to be the one with a lower price. So it will be hard to convince someone that you want to give him something good at the higher price, because they always go for the one who's at the lower price. So you never know if you're going to win the tender or not.
No, we also have lots of fashion designers and all these people that are coming up, and of course we have Texiwawa, our own, that can give us material and all these things. Would you say you guys are maybe hoping to look into trying to get all these items from locally here in Rwanda, as opposed to, like you said, going to China and Dubai to buy all this, especially when it comes to the clothing as opposed to equipment? Because I know equipment, there's still a long journey for us to get there.
Well, we all want to buy goods from our country instead of importing them. But still, that quality we are looking for, it's not here yet. But if the quality will be here, no one will go in China or Dubai. No, we'll just buy it from home. We'll just keep the money flowing in the country.
Good. So the money stays in Rwanda if it's up to you guys.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Steve, for coming to the show.
Thank you too.
Well, you're up to date today's business headlines. Sports news coming up next in just a minute with Arnold Kwizera.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time now for your sports news. I'm Arnold Kwizera. Starting with football, Lee Johnson has stepped down as the Rwanda Football Association Technical Director as well as the Under-17 head coach after just 10 months into his 2-year contract. The 34-year-old Englishman sent in his resignation letter to FERAFA and confirmed that he accepted an offer as the assistant coach of the India senior national team as well as head coach of the India Under-19 national team. The Englishman joins former Amavubi coach Stephen Constantine, who is currently the India head coach, having stepped down as a Amavubi coach in January after he received a better offer from the All India Football Federation. Moving on to chess, Rwanda Chess Federation is organizing a 3-day chess tournament that will decide players that will qualify for 2 upcoming international events. The tournament that is scheduled to start on the 1st of May will be a first step towards choosing representatives to the Commonwealth Chess Championships to be held on June 22nd to the 30th in New Delhi, India. The tournament will also determine who will represent Rwanda at the 3rd annual French-speaking National Chess Championship set for July 17th to the 26th in Canada. And in the English Premier League, the Premier League returns this weekend with some intriguing fixtures, none more than third-place Manchester United's trip to Stamford Bridge to take on runaway leaders Chelsea. Van Gaal's team are the Premier League's form team, and a win against Jose Mourinho's Blues will open up a late title bid with 6 games to play. Defending champions Manchester City will hope to bounce back from their Monday blues as they host Sam Allardyce's West Ham at the Etihad. Liverpool are away to Hull City, while Arsenal's fixture against Sunderland has been postponed. Joining me for a special NBA playoff chat is Alistair Muhire and the usual man, Regis Isheja. It's the NBA playoffs are starting this weekend.
Indeed.
Golden State Warriors are #1 in the West. Many don't think they have such a great chance. Regis Isheja himself here. Let me start with you, Regis. Why don't you think the Warriors have a chance?
Because I don't believe run and gun basketball team can win a championship. I believe they're a great team, they're a formidable team for the regular season because it doesn't take that much defense to win games when they don't count that much. When it comes to the playoff and you have to win a seven-game series, it becomes tougher because then you play half court. You play half court, you don't get that many opportunities to shoot the basketball. Stephen Curry might score 30, 40, 50, but the rest of the team is not going to be able to operate the same way.
Quick, Alistair, just to get to you. He says Golden State are not a good defensive team, but they are the best defensive team in the league this season. Do you think he is wrong about their playoff credentials?
I do, in the sense that you are right. They are rated actually the top defensive team in the NBA. And just to go back to your point about how slow the game is in the playoffs, I do agree with that. However, the good thing about the Splash Bros, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, along with the rest of their team, is they are with their new coach, their first-year coach, who's doing an incredible job. To say they are able to really adapt to anybody's game, and we've seen that throughout the season. Fast pace, slow pace, and a slow pace. I should say. So the Spurs, again, to his point, I think the West is so strong that by the time they do meet, and I hopefully they do, they just won't have enough gas in the tank.
Yeah, Spurs are a day-to-day team. You never know about their health problems, but the Warriors struggled against the Spurs in the Spurs' current run of form. Lost to Spurs by over 20 points. Isn't that a sign of what is to come in the playoffs?
Because it's a 7-game series, I think there's so much time for each team to kind of feel each other out and figure out defensive schemes. I think it's a long enough time for Steve Kerr and his troops to really figure the Spurs out. And again, with their firepower on offense and their stable defense, I think they have a chance.
So that's where Reg, Spurs, let me bring you back. Let me first break down for you the Spurs. Right. The Spurs team has changed style, and so many people believe that has happened, especially in this run of 11 games. Spurs is not playing the system that it used to play, that used to ride on so many players.
Right.
Spurs is riding on one player in Kawhi Leonard. Do you think Tony Parker with his bad off-form season that he's having, he will step up. Patty Mills, the other guard, because without Tony Parker, Spurs can't ride. Do you think Tony Parker will be healthy enough for the playoffs?
Like I always say when it comes to the Spurs, health is the key to them performing well in the playoffs. If they're all healthy, if Thiago Splitter comes back, if Tony Parker's problems are not the ones we saw in the regular season, and if Manu Ginobili's back problems, stop and his ankle as well, then I think they'll perform. Patty Mills, the way I look at it, Mario Bellinelli, the way I look at it, they're a team that they just need to be a 12, maybe a 9-10 strong to perform.
What you're saying, a lot of ifs have to be in place for Spurs to perform.
It's always the case with the Spurs, but yet they've won 5 championships in the last 16 years. So maybe the ifs have, if they've been more, healthier than not when it comes to the playoffs.
And I think a lot of credit goes to the coaching.
Right.
I mean, going back to Steve Kerr, he's in his first year. Pop has been there forever. And his experience without some of these players, some of the key players, I think he'll be fine. I mean, I know I'm rooting for Golden State myself, but realistically, the Spurs have a great chance. They can going back to the series they had with Miami in the finals, any player can go off at any time. Danny Green, Kawhi, Patty Mills. So I think Pop does a great job of handling all his...
and every time he sits, he rests his players. They have a tendency to outscore you by 30 or 40, and it's a blowout because you come to play against them thinking, oh, Manu's not there, but Parker's not there, and Duncan is not there.
A lot of attention is on this Spurs team. Now, when you look at teams that can beat Spurs over a 7-game series, the Dallas Mavericks have been talked about. Memphis with their crutch and very hungry style.
That's the team that scares me.
What do you think about
Memphis? Actually, almost every team in the West is very competitive. But to Memphis's point, again, I'm very defense first, and they have one of the grittiest defenses, if I can say, in the NBA. They just grind it out. They have low-scoring games. They've been known to do that, and I mean, I think they have enough offensive power.
And they're very physical side. And I don't see Spurs beating Memphis without Thiago Splitter because he is the most
that's true
because they're inside
he's not healthy.
Right, and they're inside
against Zibo and Marc Gasol. You need size.
Yeah.
But at the same time, remember when you think about a team like Golden State in 2007 when they had a great run when they beat
the We Believe team.
The We Believe team when they beat Dallas in the first round as a number 8 seed. That was a surprise team. They don't have that luxury anymore. Everybody's expecting them to do well because they almost had the Bulls record of 96.
But still, people are still writing them off. Okay, now quickly, let's move to the East. No one's talking about Cleveland in the East. Do you think Cleveland can shock people and go on to win this NBA championship?
I mean, the East is the issue with the East is they're such a weak conference. They've been that way for so many years now. So that's kind of why they're always on the back burner. But Cleveland, I mean, undeniably are a very talented team. They have arguably the best player in the league, in the world, leading them. So they are definitely a threat. They've had an incredible streak since LeBron James's 2-week hiatus. And I mean, they've done it.
J.R. Smith is...
Everyone is, it's called, the chemistry is there now. You can see it. You can see it in the way they're smiling, they're having fun.
They arguably have the 2 best players in the Eastern Conference. Believe it or not. Arguably.
So do you think Cleveland can beat the Atlanta Hawks if they're to in the finals?
I do. I think Cleveland won't be playoff tested in the playoffs, and that's sad if you think about it, because then when they get to play against whoever emerges from the Western Conference, they wouldn't have been battle tested enough, especially with the size of the West. Because if you think about the West, Memphis is a big team. San Antonio is a big team. Even Golden State is a big team. Even if they play slow, even Houston is a big team. So there's nowhere where you can actually say, if you think about it, what's his name? The former defensive player of the year that plays for Dallas, that went back to Dallas.
Tyson Chandler.
With Tyson Chandler, who's a 7-footer, and now they have Amari Stoudemire too. That's tough to beat. I mean, all teams have basically 2 7-footers in the West. The East
I think this argument can go on forever. At least I hope we'll have you here for the semifinals.
Definitely.
Who'd you put your money on?
The
predictions
in the East,
to win the NBA championship.
So in the East, I got the Cavs coming out, and on the West side, after an incredible battle, 7 games with the Spurs, I got the Warriors.
The Warriors. Regis?
I got the Spurs coming out, And I got the Bulls coming out of the East. That's my favorite team. The Bulls are my favorite team in the entire NBA.
Regis goes for Spurs and the Chicago Bulls. Alistair goes for the Warriors and Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll be right back after this short break.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Let's take a look now at news-making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world.
Authorities in Rubavu arrested former executive secretary of the district, Christopher Kalisa, for embezzlement and corruption charges. Kalisa resigned from his post last month after the district advisory council ordered him to step down alongside the district mayor, Hassan Bahame, and his two vice mayors. The latter were accused of receiving a bribe worth 4 million francs from a local contractor who wanted land titles from the district officials to be fast-tracked. Police officials said the investigations are still undergoing.
Residents in Musanze district have appealed to officials to provide sustainable measures to prevent disasters caused by water from the Volcano National Park. This comes after various rivers overflowed during the weekend, causing flooding which destroyed crops and property. Residents said that the incidents were common and attributed to poor management of the rivers, urging the district to take proper measures in maintenance of the water bodies. Officials said plans were being put in place to extend rivers to prevent such disasters.
The International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda began its last appeal case involving the former Minister for Family Affairs and Women Development, Pauline Nyiramasuhuko. Nyiramasuhuko's case, which is codenamed Butare Trial, has dragged on for 14 years, becoming the longest trial handled by the tribunal. She was sentenced to life in prison and became the first woman to be tried and convicted by an international war crimes court. The appeal case commenced at a time when Rwandans are commemorating the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, in which the accused is said to have had a critical role in.
And in international news, Malawi has said that it will begin repatriating its nationals from South Africa following the increase in xenophobic violence. Officials say the first group will return this weekend, and the African Union and Southern African Development Community have been called on to intervene in order to help protect foreigners. At least 5 foreigners have been killed in South Africa's coastal city of Durban, and foreign-owned shops have been destroyed in attacks since last week.
Earlier this month, the president held a press conference where he voiced his opinion on the 2017 elections. Ever since, it seems to be all anyone can talk about. And today, we have founder of The Independent, Andrew Mwenda, in studio to get down to the nitty-gritty. Welcome to the show, Andrew. Good morning.
Thank you, Regis.
All right, now, what I really want to know is what's on your mind based on what the president said in the press conference about 2017. He seemed to reject the notion that it was something that was preventing him from sleeping. And he said, there's basically, in his mind, 2 camps. The ones that want him to stay in power, and they have their own point of views. And then there are the ones who are saying we should respect the Constitution, and then, things should go smoothly as, the Constitution says. What's your take on it?
Well, first of all, I know that President Paul Kagame believes that he should retire in 2017. I know that he wants the Constitution to be respected and term limits upheld. But if you sample the people of Rwanda, you will find that there is a large upsurge of opinion that the president should stay beyond 2017. You should ask yourself why. I think that the vast majority of Rwandans, I can even guess more than 90%, are extremely anxious. They suffer extreme bouts of anxiety when they hear that there's going to be a political transition in 2017. Why? You just need to look at the history of this country. This country has been unable, of any other country I know in the world, it has been unable to manage political transitions. The first transition that was attempted in 1959-62 precipitated a genocide. Then in 1972-73, there was a second genocide. It led to a military coup. Then 1994, there was another transition. It also came at the footsteps of a genocide. If you have a country and a population that have gone through genocide at every step of an attempted transition, you can understand why the vast majority of the people of Rwanda don't want a transition in 2017. So the debate really should not be on what the Constitution says. It should be on the fundamentals. What are the things that are necessary for Rwanda to have in place for it to have a transition from one president to another, from one government to another, without precipitating political catastrophe and violence.
Andrew, there you talked about people being very anxious about that transition. But the examples of governments you've given didn't have strong institutions in place. Do you feel this current regime has put in place institutions that are strong enough to warrant a peaceful transition come 2017?
You see, a political system operates at 2 levels. One, it operates on the reality. The second, it operates on its citizens' perception of that reality. I think that Rwanda has strong institutions that can manage a transition very well. The problem Rwanda faces is that the population does not believe so.
Isn't that a weakness in itself?
Well, while the population may be out of step with the reality, its fears are understandable because they are rooted in history. You see, what we are talking about is rooted in objective reality. But the population's fears are rooted in its history, its experience. Therefore, if you try to force a transition in 2017, you are likely to precipitate either many people running out of the country or even to precipitate instability. I'll give you an example in markets, on the stock market. A company can be solid or a bank can be solid, but if you create a perception and a belief that this bank is not solid and people make a run on that bank, or people begin dumping their stock, the stock will collapse or the bank will itself become insolvent. So you have to be very careful in a country that has gone through the kind of history, tragic history that Rwanda has gone through. You have to be very careful how you handle transition. And my own view was that Rwanda needs to look at 4 things. One, Rwanda needs a demographic transition, first and foremost, before a presidential transition. And by that I mean that you need to have a large majority of the adult population of Rwanda being people who were born after 1994, who enjoy emotional distance away from the events of 1994. Two, you need an income transition. You need to have Rwandans reach a per capita income of about $2,700.
So what you're saying 2017 is not the right time for President Kagame to leave?
I told you that it may be the right time objectively, but not the right time subjectively. In other words, if you were to look at the objective reality, yes, it may be the right time. If we are to look at the subjective beliefs of the people of Rwanda, it's not the right time.
Now, I'm going to bring up a point that has gotten a lot of people tense, and that is foreign press, international press, Westerner press, where they have this critic that comes up all the time about if President Kagame stays in power, then there's no difference than other countries in Africa or all over the world, countries that do not respect their democratic institutions, and so on and so forth. The president clearly said in a press conference in the Jeune Afrique piece that he does not believe opinions from outside should matter when this concerns Rwandans, and you so eloquently put it that we've had a history that's so different from other countries. Now, come 2017, in the balance, should the international pressure be applied in our judgment as Rwandans, or should just Rwandans basically, think about what's best for Rwandans and just go from there?
I'm not sure you're quoting the president right. I don't think you can say that the international opinion doesn't matter. I think international opinion does matter, but the most important opinion that matters the most, of course, is the opinion of the people of Rwanda.
Right.
So I think that Rwanda should listen to international friends and what they have to say on this matter, but the ultimate decision must be made by Rwandans, because nobody else understands the situation in Rwanda better than the people of Rwanda. In fact, I should also add that those to be most affected by this decision should have the highest say, should carry a 90% weight on that decision. Because assuming I am to make a decision about your marriage, and remember, in your marriage you have kids, and there are so many consequences that happen with the divorce.
And you're not part of the marriage.
I'm not part of the marriage, and you ask me as an expert to tell you whether you should remain in your marriage or not. Really, my opinion can only be of less weight compared to the opinion of the partners in that marriage.
Now,
the children, the husband and the wife.
Andrew, you talked about something in your recent article, in the Last Word article. You talked about something, if President Kagame leaves power in 2017, Rwanda's economic growth will slow down.
I do not say will. There is a risk that it will slow down. Why? President Kagame enjoys such overwhelming legitimacy and popularity based on historical circumstances, which allows him to take certain decisions and push people to particular directions with such forcefulness and effectiveness that nobody else has. If the president said, okay, you, Andrew Mwenda, you're old man of the clan, you succeed me, my first responsibility is to consolidate my own position, to begin to win the support of other elites, and have to trade favors.
Right.
For me to trade those favors, I have to allow corruption, I have to allow certain things. I believe that...
Again, doesn't that go back to the lack of strong institutions?
It is not lack of strong institutions. It is simply that President Kagame is the founding leader of the current situation in Rwanda, and no one can rival him in terms of legitimacy and popularity. And that popularity and legitimacy are a political resource from which Rwanda draws a lot of its performance. Now, of course, institutions in Rwanda are there, but institutions are built over a period of time. The building of institutions is a process, not an event. President Kagame cannot say, let there be good institutions in Rwanda, and they are there. They grow. If you asked me, if the institutions of Rwanda are supposed to be here, from here, where are they now? They could be in the middle, they could be 70%, whatever it is, institutions grow over time.
I wish we could go on forever. This is something, I've been wanting to have, Arnold has been wanting to have with you, this talk with you. It's great to pick your brain.
Hope you'll be back here
I hope you'll be back soon.
It's been a great pleasure for me to be with you guys.
All right. You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Connect to Lusaka 3 times a week starting 27th March. Enjoy comfort and safety at affordable fares to 17 other destinations across Africa and the Middle East.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda Lifestyle now. Makeda, what do you have for us?
As always, it's Thursday, so I have the movie review.
All right, cannot wait.
Yes, it is movie review time, all right? So I'm going to start with the new releases that you guys can go and check out over the weekend.
That Arnold can relate
if
to?
you'd like to. The new ones that Arnold will like.
And Fidelis.
Fidelis is in
Fidelis is an old soul. She's an old soul. I
Leave
like
this
her.
alone.
So the first one, let's just take a look at the trailer.
This is Mr. King's car. Man owns the building. At least we can get his car right.
Oh, I have almost no cash. Just $9,000.
I got your keys.
Just so you know, I would have done the same thing if you were white.
That's good to know.
I'm rolling in Buenos dias, Cecilio.
There's a water spot. You don't think people can see those? Damn it! Get the roof.
James King.
Yes?
You're under arrest for fraud and embezzlement.
I have faith that the justice system will exonerate me.
I sentence you to 10 years in a maximum security prison.
Did he say 10 years? My life is ruined. Because after 30 days, I'm going to prison. It's not as bad as I've heard, is it?
Hell yeah, it's bad.
Teach me how to survive in prison the way you did.
Tell me how you know I went to prison.
Given your low economic status.
Wait, what?
Your perceived lack of college education.
Okay.
Statistically, you definitely went to prison.
See you tomorrow, convict.
Okay, so that is a comedy that is coming out this Friday, and it's called Get Hard, featuring Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. All right, so as you know, those are two of like the comedy giants.
Kevin Hart is in like all the movies
He's
now.
in everything.
I know,
He's the most busy
That's like
man
a
in
movie
Hollywood.
out each month.
Oh,
That's
he's
crazy.
making money. He's
Yeah.
making money. So I guess it's kind of like new school and old school as well, because Will Ferrell is one of the comedians that has been
For the grannies.
Yes, for the grannies out there and for the youngins
You're
like
funny.
you. Kevin Hart is there. So basically, it's about this guy who is being sent to jail for fraud.
Right.
But he, he's kind of had a very cushy life, and so he assumes that Kevin Hart, just because he's black, has been to jail before. And in the States, unfortunately, it's kind of going that way anyway. I mean, so anyway, let's keep it light. Anyway, so he decides to ask him for lessons on how to kind of survive in jail, and then that's what transpires in the movie. So if you guys are looking for like a fun, thing to watch.
That's one we have to check out, just for
Definitely.
good
Oh,
laughs and
wait.
everything.
Seems
I
hilarious.
thought Regis is, it's not his favorite.
Oh no, that's
Very well,
not
that's his
Kevin Hart is
favorite.
funny.
Hey.
Who wouldn't mind a funny movie?
right.
Regis. Do you know how he's anti this generation movies?
Listen to this one. Just because he likes old doesn't mean he doesn't like new.
Right.
Now there's another movie that is also coming out this weekend called Run All Night. So let's check it out.
It's gotta be 15 years since I've been in here. Place looks different.
All the old places look different now. I'm the only one ever cared about you. And all of that ended an hour ago when you killed my son.
I pulled the trigger. I killed Daddy. I had to. He was gonna shoot Michael. I'm here asking for my son's life, Sean. He's a good kid. He's got a family. He don't deserve this.
You know this has to end. I'm coming after your boy with everything I got. And when it's done, and it will be done, then I'll let you die.
So that one is called Run All Night, and it's featuring Liam Neeson and Ed Harris. So another movie with two huge giants
Quite
in
trying to
acting.
adapt to the new school.
Liam Neeson is a legend. You
So
better go check it out.
Liam Neeson, the thing is this. I mean, he always has something wrong with his kids. So
And he's one of those actors that are truly believable.
Oh,
He
definitely.
reminds me of Anthony Hopkins. Like when he plays a role,
Yeah.
you actually feel like he's like that in real life.
He's actually one of those very few people whom he'll play an action movie and I'll actually watch it and stay interested the whole movie. Normally for me, 5 minutes into the poof, I am done.
Not all actors are that good. There's a reason why he's look at
really
how many
good.
movies he's been that have the same, he's good. He's really
I
good.
guess he also has really good selection when it comes to scripts and
Right.
selecting
He doesn't
the
play in a
right
lot of
people.
movies, but he plays in the right
Really
movies.
good
He
movies.
Right.
plays in a
the
certain
movie is
kind
about.
of movie, I think. We'll see. But yeah, no, as you saw in the trailer, it's about it's about his son. I think is having issues. I don't want to give away too much. You know what? Just go and watch this movie at the movie theaters. Now, obviously we cannot stop
Yes,
without
this
going
is
into
the one.
the cult classic,
Right.
Regis's
Arnold's
favorite
favorite
movie.
part of the entire movie review. Okay, so let's just check it out.
All work and no play
Do you want to be rich?
made Stella a big success.
Or do you want to wallow in regret?
But everyone knew she needed a vacation,
You ain't been nowhere since I was a natural blonde.
except Stella.
We going to Jamaica. What?
I want you to try to have some fun, Mom. Sure. I mean it.
Good morning. I would like to dance with you.
You can't be serious.
So the cult classic of this week is How
Man.
Stella Got Her Groove Back, based on a popular book by Terry McMillan. And I know...
That's what we got.
Can I just say something, Mike, to everybody at home? There's a comment that was just made here in studio with Arnold saying, I was asking him who was Angela Bassett, what's her name? And he goes, oh, she's that chick that was in that movie.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
but she's the lady in that movie about
She's
women
very,
empowerment that
very-
you guys did for Women's Day.
Yes, there you go.
At least he remembers.
Yes.
Wow.
He knows her from the last movie review that we did.
Yes.
Okay,
That's what
anyway.
these movie reviews are for. Like, try to get
Absolutely.
someone.
So basically this movie stars Angela Bassett, Whoopi Goldberg, and Taye Diggs. And basically it's about Angela Bassett, you know, she's a career woman, but she's having some relationship problems.
Right,
she
right.
has a son. She was divorced. And then she decided to just kind of go on a relaxing trip to Jamaica to, you know, to kind of relax, basically. And she meets a young, hot toddy, and, you know, things transpire
And
after
notice
that.
how when
She
Makeda
gets her
says
groove back.
Jamaica, a smile just, comes across her
Because
face.
it's the place
What
to
can I
be.
say?
when
What
you
can I
want to
say?
relax, I guess.
Yeah, so that's that was a really big movie when it
was
came
this
out.
movie released?
I don't know that.
The movie was
Yo.
released in 1998 before he was
How am I
born.
supposed to?
No. I was in school in '98.
In primary.
I was in school in '98.
Okay. Anyways, so if you're looking for, you know, something to kind of, you know, go and you don't really want to go to the movies, you kind of just want to hang out at home, that's a good one to check out, all right? Now, just before we wrap up the movie review, every week we give out free tickets for you to go and check out the latest movies in the theaters right now. So for this week, all you have to do is tell us, what is Stella's career in the movie How Stella Got Her Groove Back? Is it A, stockbroker, B, lawyer, or C, accountant? All you have to do is email, tweet, or Facebook us the answer, and the first two people to respond will win movie tickets. I'm sorry, the first person to respond will win 2 movie tickets, all right? Again, the question is, what is Stella's career in the movie? A, stockbroker, B, lawyer, or C, accountant, all right? Now don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Don't forget, we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. Like us on Facebook and send us ideas for programs. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports that we upload daily. Follow us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We're always putting behind the scenes photos up. Or check out our website, riseandshinerwanda.com. Well, that's all that we have for today, but don't forget that we love to hear your feedback, so do let us know if you have any ideas for the program. You've been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Makeda Mahario.
And me, Regis Isheja, will be here, same time, same place tomorrow, so do join us then. But for now, from the two of us and this beautiful team over here, have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.